Good morning, Duilio and Shri Mataji. Good morning, everybody who are watching us. We are again probably the fourth installment. Forgive me that I don't keep a track with Duilio. So we are already talk about a lot of stuff, but lately we are focusing on one of the subject. We find it very interesting, like philosophy and spirituality, philosophy and Sahaja Yoga. So after last time, first two installments about an introduction in philosophy, and especially in medieval one, with focus on Anselmo, on Abelard, on uh,
Bernardo.
Bernardo. Now, because we want to talk about another very interesting medieval philosopher, theologist, if you want, we have to define that term as well, because that term as well, it's a kind of not well in uh, um, um, not well understood, that being a theologist. And I will ask you about that, please, to answer. Now we will focus on Meister Eckhart, which is the only one I know a little bit more, but I don't look on my notes because I should look on my notes because probably I will put pertinent question to you, but I will let you to tell everything you know about Mr. Eckhart. Uh, if I remember well, 1300. Uh, and Duilio told us that about Master Eckhart have to talk a little bit more. So we dedicate full meeting for this important medieval philosopher and theology. So first of all, I have a question, and I congratulate myself that I do not put it on text to you, because now I have to put it directly. Uh, Please recommend now at least one important, or write it down, at least one important writing from those thinkers, let's call it that, we talked last time. Because after the discussion with you, I go to look for more lectures. I go deep. So when I find something which is very interesting, I always follow. Go further and further and further. So, if you don't mind, I already start two topics. What is a theologist, and give us some bibliography. Answer to whatever you wanted.
Yeah, so thank you, Daniel. And as I said, it's a great pleasure to talk with you and to continue this talking about Sahaja Yoga and in this case, philosophy. And it's important just to underline that when we talk about philosophy, especially in Sahaja Yoga, there is a kind of, how you say, misconcept,
Yes, can
thinking
be.
that we should
Mhm.
not, yeah, we should not go into this thinking method and so on. Actually, I find that this is a quite wrong misconcept in the sense that we are not studying philosophy just as a way of intellectual exercise.
Yes.
Of course, even under this point of view, could be interesting, at least enjoyable. But moreover, what is most important is how to stimulate the reflection on Sahaja Yoga and the reflection on the words of Shri Mataji. If you see, we always relate these thinkers, this philosopher, directly to the word of Shri Mataji. Even in the last talks we had, especially the last one, we were talking about Anselmo, but Anselmo related to Shri Mataji, and Bernardo related to Shri Mataji. And Shri Mataji invited us to do this exercise. It is not just our idea. She invited us to study, to read about the other thinkers, other philosophers, and then to compare with Saja Yoga.
Yes.
She said it very clearly and very explicitly, so there is nothing new and nothing strange. And let's say that last time, if you remember, we spoke a lot about the importance of knowing ourselves
Mhm.
and the importance of introspection. We said how Shri Mataji in one talk explained how there are three main aspects in our exercise of Saja Yoga. One is meditation, of course, where we get into thoughtless awareness. One is just sitting, absorbing her vibration, and that is help us to nourish our subtle centers, our nadis. And the third point she mentioned was introspection. And the introspection is the way we have to go deep into ourselves and to look deep into ourselves. And if you remember, we quote Abelardo, because Abelardo was saying that we should introspect to see what are the what is impulse us, what does move us to act, which kind of desire, which kind of emotions and feeling do we have in our heart. And he says very clearly that more than what we do is important what we introspect and we know about ourselves. The same action done with a good heart gives such a, can give the same result, but is completely different from the same action with the same result done with a bad heart. And the next day, I said to meditation and I look at the talk of Shri Mataji. And I just opened the Amruta and I put just one video out of the blue. And the video was all about introspection and about the importance of knowing ourselves. And if you allow, I took out also some how you say excerpt. I mean, I took out some part of the talk, but I would like to
Except,
read
except, yes.
except yeah the word of Shri Mataji because they are so important. And for example, this talk is the talk given during Sahasrara Puja in Kabela in 1993. So I invite everyone to go there directly to the word of Shri Mataji. And I always repeat that fundamental, first of all, is to go to the talks of Shri Mataji. And then we have to start from there. That are the real source of all our knowledge. I said many times, but I would like to repeat that when we read or talk, or when we read a book of some philosopher, it can take some time to understand them when they are very complicated. But at the end, you understand it and you got it. With the talk of Shri Mataji, is completely different. What happens is that when you listen to Shri Mataji's talk, and you are sure you got it, you got our message. And when you listen again after 1 year, you get another message, and then another one, and then another one, and another. So our talks are endless. You can discover. I mean, it is like a well without the bottom. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and always you find something new because our talk, all our talks are infinite. And so I invite again everyone to go originally to the talk of Shri Mataji. So coming back to this talk of Sasara Puja 93, she says that I'm reading her word, and she says, in this modern time, what you know is much more important than what you do. This is Shri Mataji's word. So it is exactly what Abelardo was saying. It's not important what you are doing. What is important is what you know. I mean, do introspection. Try to know what is moving the action inside you. Okay, you are acting, but why you are acting? What is moving you? What is your emotion? What do you know of yourself? Go deep into yourself. Try to discover yourself. And that is a truly great message.
Can I
And I can on, sorry.
can I add something here? And I want your thought about that one. I know in even in Hindu spirituality, the ignorance, so the fact that you don't know, is considered the greatest sin, the greatest hurdle, let's call it, greater than anything else, ignorance. So I believe it's aligned with what you just said now. That's why it come in my head and I feel the need to bring it in discussion. The fact that we don't know, it's also a very bad thing. The lack of knowledge.
Yeah, you know the story of, you mean you're talking now about India, but let's see at our Western philosophy and look at Socrates. Why Socrates was considered the most wise, the wisest man in all Greece? That was the oracle of in Delphi said that Socrates was the wisest
Yes,
man in all Greece. So he was inquiring why I am considered the wisest, just because he recognized that he didn't know anything, but at least he knew that he didn't know.
yes.
He
And
knew that he
try
didn't
and
know.
try to address that.
Yeah, exactly. So the only difference is that the other ones, they were so ignorant that they cannot even see their own ignorance. And Socrates said, look at yourself and you can discover how ignorant you are. So you can overcome your ignorance looking at your ignorance. Uh, and you see, again, we come back to the other philosopher we saw last time, that is Bernardo.
Yeah.
Bernardo said that human beings should become humble, looking into themselves. He was saying "Nosce te ipso," that is, knowing. You have to know yourself to understand your limitation and to understand your ignorance. You are just finite or finite. How you say finite?
Whatever. We know what you mean. Finite.
No,
Let's call it
finite.
finite.
Okay. You have to recognize that you are finite, trying to understand the infinite. So of course it's not possible.
Yeah.
So in this way, ignorance is the worst sin because prevent you to know your limit, prevent you to know that in front of God you have just to completely dissolve yourself. More you think you are something, and more you are far. How you say farthest from God
Farthest. Yeah.
itself. Farthest. So that brings us directly to this Meister Eckhart,
Hold
because
on a
Meister
second.
Eckhart,
Hold on a second. I have a question which could come very easily, if you don't mind, to answer to that one. Can come very easily from some people who said, we are bhakti, we prize to God, we don't need anything else. For me, this kind of attitude is not a very bad one, but it's just one way, is not complete way to find God. We talked about that about 3 installments ago. Uh, for me, sometimes, because the bhakti cannot be 100% all the time, or for many people, this attitude can bring you to superficiality, and after that from superficiality is just a step to other things. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you are right in the sense that bhakti, when it is at a such in very low people, can bring very easily to fanatism,
Yeah,
and the consequences are could be of different level. Uh, you see, Shri Mataji said very clearly that in this time, in this period, the bhakti path is the best.
yeah.
So I have to agree with Shimataji, of course, and I would repeat 1,000 times that bhakti is the best way. But we should understand what is bhakti, and in this way we should come back to the word of Shri Krishna. When Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita said very clearly, and Shimataji is alerting us because in many talks she speak about that when Shri Krishna was talking of bhakti, was talking of Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means when there is no the other. So if you are in Ananya Bhakti, truly there is nothing better, nothing higher in this world. But the question is, who is in Ananya Bhakti? Actually, I don't know not even one single person in Saja Yoga who is in Ananya Bhakti. Because still we are so much attached to our imagination, to the false image even that we have of ourselves, even to the image of God, even to we can be attached even to the idea of attaining something, of attaining an higher level. We are so full of myth and so full of false idea that we are not even aware of it. So the question is, who is in Ananya Bhakti? Uh, Ananya, as you know, means when there is no the other.
Other.
But in this case, we are still so much with ourselves. So, introspection is a good way to go deep into ourselves and to see how much we are still full of false idea.
Why we need these guys we talking about from San Bernard, or I mean Bernardo de Clairvaux and all others, including Master Eckhart, we will talk now, uh, to set up our introspection. We'll ask someone. Why we need? I don't need them. I don't need them. I can do my
I
introspection.
No, no, for sure, for sure. No, you don't need it. No, I mean, you don't need it. Of course, you don't need it. On my opinion, what we need is just the talks of Shri Mataji, but it's enough, and would be enough just to relate to Shri Mataji. But again, I come to the same point. I don't know not one single Saja yogi right now who is in Ananya Bhakti.
But you said
So
something. You said something that you're reading Shri Mataji's talk. You don't need nothing. I don't want to contradict you completely, but I believe the other texts. I was
no,
talking about.
sorry. I had to complete the sentence because
Yes,
otherwise it's
please.
not clear.
Sorry.
But, I mean, you don't need any more than Shimataji's talk. Again, if you are in Ananya Bhakti, the point is that we are not there. So again, as I told you, you can read the talk of Shimataji, like this talk of Sazala Puja 93, and if I read you, if I read some of these sentences in the light of what Bernardo said, of what Abelardo said, but help you to put your attention on
Exactly.
that
Yes.
so you catch better the message of Shimataji.
There are
Because
complementary. Complementary.
let's say I feel that they stimulate you to
Yes.
better understand the word of Shimataji.
Yes.
Because if I ask people, even in Saja Yoga, to comment these talks of Shimataji, I can see that very few of them can understand deeply what she's saying. I can now read some of her word, and you can see that. I mean, you have listened to this talk 1,000 times, but most probably you didn't get these messages. So everything is inside the talks of Shri Mataji. The point is that we don't catch it because our attention is not yet ready to catch it. You have to think that our attention is like a net for fish. But when this net, let's say, as the square of a net,
Hmm.
as this size, can catch only big fish, but the small one will just pass through the net.
Yeah.
So more you do introspection, and more you also go to other thinker that can help you, you try to make your net smaller and smaller so that you can catch even the smaller fish.
Yeah.
And there is no end to it. There is no end to it. Of course, at a certain point, you don't need, actually, you don't need anyone.
Yeah.
But again, when you are in Ananya Bhakti, and I would like to know someone who says, I am in Ananya Bhakti. And okay, that is the point. So we need, and again, the work of introspection is so subtle and it is so never ending that you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you see, when we talk, for example, now about Meister Eckhart, we should talk about detachment. And because he is in our philosophy, he is the master of detachment. But what and Shimataji is talking so much extensively about detachment. Again, it comes to the same point. Who of us is completely detached? I don't know anyone. And detachment has truly no ending. And detach, I don't know how is an English word, but in the Latin origin, or in Greek, from where it comes this concept, detachment means to take away,
Hmm.
to take away, take away.
Yeah.
So we are like, last time perhaps I talked about onion, I don't know, I don't remember if, but the image, yeah, that we pass all our life creating how do you say, peels around ourselves. I
Hmm.
don't know how you say, sorry. Create a strata,
Yeah.
creating
Layers.
layers, thank you, layers after layers who cover our being, our soul, our mind. And then we have to start this job of taking out this layer, one after the other, one after the other. So detachment is a way to take out this layer from ourselves. And these layers are almost infinite. And you know, there is this great artist that is Michelangelo. Michelangelo is the one who is also how you say
Yeah.
sculpture
Sculpture. Yeah.
sculpture. Okay, and he did wonderful statues. One of a Virgin Mary with Christ, one of David. I mean,
Yeah.
infinite. And all we say is that actually the subject, the statues, is already there in the block of marble.
Yeah.
What he has just to do is to remove
Remove. Yeah.
w- what is covering
Yeah.
the essence, what is covering the statues that is already there.
Yeah.
So he says, actually, I'm doing nothing. I'm just removing what is and just revealing what is there. So somehow the same image we have of us as human beings, our main job, our main job in Sahaja Yoga in our spiritual life is to try to reveal the essence that is inside us, taking off all the superposition that we created or that are in us.
Yeah.
And so And so we can talk also of Meister Eckhart if you allow, or I don't know if you have any question or otherwise.
Um, You know me, you are talking about something and question come in my head. Sorry for interrupting you so brutal. You speak about, yes, I have just one question about what you talked before. And I try to be the advocate of the people who are watching us, and maybe some they have not a different position but questions. So this one is my question. You said that you don't meet anybody who is completely detached. I will add that I don't meet anyone who is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But what are you say to someone who pretend or said, no, 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 I'm completely detached. I'm completely detached, or I have no doubts. Obviously, we have to define doubts um, for this kind of people. What you tell to this guy who said, "I'm completely detached"?
Nothing.
Okay, yeah, good answer. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so
I mean, if you are so ignorant that you cannot see your limitation,
exactly, it's about seeing your limitation. And in our, I believe it's a kind of ego. I don't know. Again, I don't want to go to discussion in that direction. But what resort make you to believe you are perfect, you are detached, you are such and such? It's good to to have the tendency towards those goals, but on the same time, you have to be humble enough with yourself, not with in front of others. But again, I don't want to go to discussion in this direction. I said too much anyway. So, um, okay. Um, you already talk about a few subjects and rise in me another ideas about talk with you about Socrates, which is until now when you rise the um, philosophy of the Middle Ages was my favorite, and again about myths, which we touched it last time. So I want to hear more about that, but some other time. Something else which it's in a limbo, and please do not forget, recommend us some works from the people you are already talk about. Whenever you want, now, or if you want to think about what will be the best, maybe we put it in right, or we said some other.
yeah, Abelardo wrote so much, hundreds of, I mean, tens and tens of books. So to just suggest one is difficult. There is the one Ascito Ipso that is Know Yourself, of course,
Mhm,
is
mhm.
one of his last books and that can be used. Of Eckhart, you can find, I mean, I have just in Italian, I don't know how many, which one. So of Eckhart, I have different version. I don't know whatever you can find there. Uh, I tell you, I will not go so much through them. Just a general knowledge is enough to stimulate our introspection.
Yeah,
I
that
always
was more
suggest
for
to
me.
first of
That
all,
was more for me
okay,
because I will
because I was
like to
more
go.
suggesting to go through the test of Shri Mataji. If we can go through it and truly trying to introspect each sentence of Shri Mataji is
Yes.
so deep and so full of meaning, and that would be truly quite enough. But anyway, so il, what to do? Can we go deep a little more on the subject or whatever?
Yes, we
I mean,
go.
I will not open a window on the myth because it will take hours
No,
only
no, no,
that.
no, no, no.
Just
That was just suggestion for you if you want it
yeah,
in the future. I'm thirsty
yeah,
about this discussion. So those are already two subjects who come in my mind because I read
yeah.
Socrates, I read Plato, sorry, but I'm fascinated trying to find Socrates inside of Plato, and I'm curious about your takes here. Socrates dialogues, non-Socrates dialogues, and about myths. There are two subjects which I have to keep them in mind, and I just propose it to you now because I remember. But today, like we hopefully we will we finally get into our main subject. Uh, you are most welcome to develop.
Yeah, no, just because we are, it is like a continuous from where we ended
Yes.
last time.
Mhm.
It is like a part going on, and coming to Eckhart, I feel we are coming to the end of a part, in the sense that Eckhart is the one. Meister means a master, Meister Eckhardt, it was a master, he was teaching in the university and so on. So, Master Eckhart completes somehow the part because he's talking about, I mean, many subjects, but first of all, about detachment. And that is another topics that Shri Mataji speak a lot about. Um, Eckhart is like a mystic, but mystic is a bad word somehow. You know that mystic, the word mystic come from the word silence, a Greek word.
Yeah.
So actually, the mystic is not something that fly in the air. It's
Mhm.
someone who can keep silence, and not only silence.
The original meaning of myth of
Yeah,
mist, to
or
be
mystic.
clear.
Yeah. So it is not silence just outside.
Mhm.
First of all, is silence inside.
Which is
No,
meditation.
that is meditation, of course. In this way, we can say that Master Eckhart was a mystic because he was inviting everyone to go into the silence. He says that only through silence we can meet God. Uh, and But it is not only a mystic in the sense that he used a lot the intellect. He was a master. He was a very well knower of all the scripture. He was, for example, quoting a lot all the Arabs philosopher. You know, the Arabs philosophers are the ones who brought the Greek philosophy back to the Western country because
Especially
the Greek
Aristotle.
philosophy,
Yeah. Yes.
Aristotle, they were completely forgotten
Mhm.
because we had no books of them
Yeah.
in Europe, and the Arabs were the one who brought back to us through Spain and so on the Greek philosophy to Western country, and especially Aristotle. So, for example, Meister Eckhart many times is quoting, I don't know how you say in English, but in Italian is Avicenna.
Yes.
Avicenna is
Uh,
Ibn Sina.
Ibn Sina. Avicenna is well known in Europe. Yeah. Avicenna.
Okay, that's it.
Ibn Sina.
So,
Yeah.
no, just to say that he was a very great intellectual.
Yeah.
It was not just a simple fool or just a bhakta lost in the air. No, no, he was completely in the world and considered one great master of scripture. But uh, he put all his attention on the fact that we have to detach ourselves and that he was explaining so well what is detachment, but he put it to the extreme. He went to the extreme of detachment. And it is amazing if you go through the test of Eckhart to see the level he has reached into the Ananya Bhakti. He is truly describing Ananya Bhakti. And so you see, the point is that all our philosophy, Western one, but also the Indian one, is is trying to understand the problem, one main problem. I mean, one main problem go through all the philosophy of the religion of the world. That's it. That with our senses we see multiplicity. Why we understand by intuition and also by rationality that there is only oneness. So if everything is one,
Mhm.
why do we feel and perceive only the multiplicity? This question was put very clearly by Plato, but it was there already in Parmenides. Parmenides said very clearly that the being is what it is,
Yep.
and what is not is not. I don't know how to say in English, but he was explaining the essence of a being, and that being is the only one, eternal, infinite, and so blah blah blah. So if this is that, it is only one. Uh, so all the philosophy in the Western investigate the relationship between oneness and multiplicity.
Mhm.
And this is the main subject in Plato. And we say that all the philosophy that came in Western country was just about that,
Yep.
just about that. And looking from different angle, but the main question is this. And this also we found very clearly in the Eastern philosophy, especially Indian one. If you look at, for example, at the Advaita Vedanta of
Yep.
Sri Adi Shankaracharya, it says exactly that, like Parmenides, that everything is one,
Yep.
just one.
Yep.
And the point is that with our senses, we see the multiplicity, but the essence is one. And I have to quote the talk of Shri Mataji, the wonderful one. So I invite everyone to go to this talk. For me, it was the last talk of Shri Mataji, the most important that she gave over the 300,000 talks. That is
3,000.
the
3,000.
3,000, 4,000, let's
Yeah.
say, that is not important. But for me, especially, the most important one, the one who most touch, is like a final word, is one of the last talks she gave, and that is the Sri Adishakti Puja talk 2004, where Sri Mataji, from the beginning till the end, only speak of oneness and what is oneness. So we come back to the same point that she says very clearly, for me, everything is one. You are the ones who see different noses, different eyes, different things, but what they see is just oneness, Shri Mataji says. And that is the point. Only everything is one, and we see multiplicity. So, what is the work of Meister Eckhart? Meister Eckhart is trying to detach. That means to take out, take out, take out, take out. Is a never ending taking out. To try to reach what he called the ground. In German language, he says Grund.
Yep.
Grund is the ground. Same word, you see? That is the bottom. That is the essence of a human being. And he says that when you reach the ground of your soul, I mean the deepest part of your soul, that is the spirit, in that moment you are one. You perceive the oneness. So the main object, the main aim for a Sahaja Yogi, the main aim is to get fully enlightened. And what is fully enlightenment? Nothing but to perceive the oneness that is in ourselves. Nothing else. So whatever comes, every talks, everything, every desire, everything come to the same point that you should arrive at the Ananya Bhakti, where there is no the others. Ananya Bhakti are the words of Sri Krishna. But let's say to the point where you perceive the oneness, that you are one and nothing else. So all the human drama, all the war, all the loves, all the families, tragedy and money and cars and houses and whatever you want to put on your head, that is nothing but a way to come to the only reality, that is to find the oneness in ourselves. So if someone says, as you asked before, I am in Ananya Bhakti, perfect, perfect. I knew one person that in the past was claiming he was completely in Ananya Bhakti and was shouting to the world that he was in Ananya Bhakti. And inside myself, I could only laugh and I keep silent because the one who is in Ananya Bhakti doesn't need to claim.
Do not
You
say
are just,
exactly. The first sign that you are not is the fact that you are claiming you are.
it's so simple. Because when you, and you see, the interesting part of Eckhart is that he speaks to the Western mind,
Mhm.
how to detach, how we have to detach, and detach, and he detach himself even from the figure of God. He says that till God is there, you are far from him. So he is praying God to take himself away from God. Just away, because still you have an idea of God, still is an idea. When you are, when he says, I mean, it is the word of Shri Mataji also. If you see the window, it is because you are here and the window is there.
Yeah,
If you cross, you don't see the window anymore, you are.
yeah,
And when you are indifferentiated. There is, there is just oneness. In the oneness, there is not even anymore the one who sees and the one who is seen. It's just the same things. This is what Meister Eckhart is saying. But I would like to recall the word of Shri Mataji in this text. Let me find out where it is, because he says something like that. Because this text is so dense, the text of Sri Sasa Puja 93, I mean. And now we were talking about the one who sees and the one who sees. When Eckhart says, for example, uh, I pray God to take me out of him, because in that moment you become him.
mhm,
No? To take out the image of God. And
mhm,
Shri Mataji says, now I'm just quoting the word of Shri Mataji. As I told you the other day, an analogy that if you are looking at the mirror, then you are the one who is observing. Your reflection is the one that is observed, and there is the action of seeing. So you are in three dimensions. But supposing you become the mirror itself, the whole process is reversed. You see yourself. You don't have to see because you are seeing it all at the same time. It is just spontaneous. In the same manner, when it comes to Sahasrara, it is your Sahasrara itself gives you the full idea as to how you are. The diagnosis come from your Sahasrara. Your own Sahasrara tell you what center are catching, because all the pittas of the seven center are in the Sahasrara. As if the Sahasrara is now watching yourself and reporting to you. See, this is wrong with you. This is wrong with you. This is wrong with you. So, Sahasrara, being the best well-wisher that you have, gives you the right information about yourself. So the best is that you correct yourself. So you see, she point out that the observer, the object of observation, and the act of seeing are just one, condensed. When you are in the Sahasrara. This is exactly what Eckhart was saying. Now, every one of us has listened this talk. How many people can do that? How many people have done it?
Not me.
And uh, and if you allow me, uh, there is, I mean, here she really touch, listen to the vibration. I mean, I'm just lost in the vibration right now. She says, I like to quote now her word. It knows so much sometimes that its brain cannot even bear it. It is so overloaded with idea, and thus the human mind is all the time anxious to grasp, absorb, and retain whatever it thinks is knowledge. But he lacks discretion, so all kind of things are accumulating in his brain in the modern times. Again, she says, all the time the human mind is anxious to grasp, absorb, and retain whatever he thinks is knowledge. You see, Meister Eckhart is saying you have to lose all your knowledge. You have to become ignorant if you have to know. But it's not the ignorant that we are talking before. Now is a new kind of ignorance where where you lose all your information, where you lose all your knowledge, or you lose all your imagination and image and the idea, and you become empty, completely empty. In this moment, you are one. Again, we say come to the same point.
Yeah.
The main point is to become a one. And once you are one, you are empty of any kind of idea about yourself, about the others, even about God itself, because you are God itself. And then she says something that is amazing. She says, same talks, eh? She says, and then you get enlightenment in a full way. But then one must ask, why? For what? I mean, what is the purpose of getting enlightenment? What is the aim? The aim is your aim is lost. You don't seek for aim at all anymore. I mean, that's it.
And even
Once you are,
seeking involve some action. So better not, I mean, completely
no, I mean, you have to seek. You have to seek, of course. You have to seek.
until one
But
point.
but once you are there,
Yes.
even the purpose, even
Yes.
the aim is completely
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
It's completely lost. So it's exactly what Eckhart says, you see. We lose our purpose, the aim, and we lose all the desire. You see? Even the desire to attain realization disappear. Now we are full of still of this desire to be one with the oneness. But once you are there, even this desire disappear. And when you are there, you just enjoy. So you don't need to desire anything because you are the totality. How the totality can desire anything? How many times Shri Mataji says to us, you have to desire because I have no desire anymore. As she's the totality, she has no desire. And she says, you have to desire for me because I have no desire. I don't know even what to desire.
Uh, so
So you see what fields we are opening now, eh? Is something that is much beyond.
uh, can I ask something?
And sorry, if you allow, I would like just continue on this way
Okay.
because I would like even I prepare so much about Eckhart, but actually, what Shri Mataji says is exactly what Eckhart was saying. And I would like to quote again the word of Shri Mataji before it's too late and we have to leave, because these words are so. So she says, uh, she's talking uh, about the thousand petals of a Sahasrara, saying that the thousand petals are not yet awakened in us as human beings. They signify the different thousand powers of a goddess, minimum of minimum. These thousands one you can open out yourself by introspection, by looking at yourself and making fun of yourself. Here, she explained to us that if we want to open our Sahasrara, we should use introspection. Of course, the Kundalini is the main source. She gives us this light, but then this light should help our introspection to, through the light of the Kundalini, we make our introspection deeper and deeper. And through this introspection, we enlighten more and more the petals of the Sahasrara. It's like a virtuous circle where the enlightenment of the Kundalini enlighten your introspection, and your introspection enlighten the petals and open more and more. I read again because it's so important to fix this point. These thousand ones, I mean the thousand petals of Sahasrara, these thousand ones you can open out yourself by introspection, by looking at yourself, making fun of yourself. Know yourself. Know yourself means know yourself with all the defect you have and also the potential you have and all the good points you have. So, as far as you are concerned, when you are looking at yourself, you should just see to the defect that you have. Why do we live like that? Why do I behave like that? Why do I assert so much? What's the problem? Why can't I see myself clearly? So, with the transparency of your Sahasrara, you can see your heart, you can see your mind, you can see yourself fully, clearly, what's wrong with you. This transparency can come only if you have really the pure desire, the Shuddha Icha, to be of that level. Again, she say us to us that we have to have this kind of transparency in our Sahasrara. So the question is, how much our Sahasrara is transparent? And can only be transparent through introspection. And again, we come to Abelardo, to Bernardo, and so on. And we have to inquire ourselves, why do I behave like that? Why do I say so much? What's the problem? She asks us to do introspection. You have to do introspection, go deep into yourself. So now comes the point. What is the main difference? Is that we, as human beings, after some times, okay, now we are here and we say, now I do introspection, okay, well and good. But then the world with his enchantment call me back again. And the desire pop ups again.
Yeah.
And then I say, no, I do introspection, I look into myself. But then again, false image coming to me again and drive my attention, let's say, to other desire or to something that I have to do, I have to assert, I have to reach, I have to, and blah, and blah, and blah. So, what is the difference? Why someone can reach the point and someone cannot reach the point? And she say in the last sentence that we just read, This transparency can come only if you have really the pure desire, Shuddha Icha, to be of that level. And that's come again the point. The Shuddha Icha is the result of our, I suppose, of our previous action that comes in us when we are truly real seekers of the truth. So if you are a seeker of power, seeker of desire, pleasure, if you are seekers of whatever you want, still you will not got you will never get to the point. Why? Because your mind will be drowned, will be catch
Yeah.
by all this multiplicity, and the multiplicity is enchanting because it's related to our senses. So somehow we have to go out of our senses to go beyond the multiplicity and to go deep into our ground, what Eckhart say ground. That is why Eckhart is talking about detachment, because the detachment somehow drive us out of the senses and let us, take out these layers of desire, of idea, of imagination, of false desire. And at the end, only one pure desire remains. The pure desire, Shuddha Icha, is to be one. So we should find again Shuddha Icha, this pure desire. We know that the Kundalini is the expression of a pure desire in us. But it's interesting because when you are there at that point, even the Shuddha Icha lose its meaning. Because once you are there, and you don't need anything else. And you lose even the aim and the purpose. And so to this point, I see that, I of course I didn't prepare this talk, but I see how it comes all together, and allow me to read another sentence of Shri Mataji of the same talks, to see how she's joining all the point. And she said, so then achieve that perfect state. That is what you have to do. But once you have achieved that perfect state, you have achieved your aim, you have no aim left, not even the desire. It's like you are coming from outside, you are running, you are very hungry, and you want to reach home. Once you reach home, then the food is served to you. Now, what is your aim? Nothing. But to enjoy the food for which you were running. But after that also, if you start running again, then one should say it is absolute stupidity. But the capacity of enjoyment only comes when your sahasrara is absolutely open. Otherwise, the capacity to enjoy is much less, and you become like a person who is running all the time after something which you never achieve. And there are many like that. All their lives, they are like mad, They are working morning till evening, every day achieving nothing. And next day again get up, again running. All their lives running like this, till their foot is in the grave, and they are still running. This is just few words of that wonderful talks 93. But any talks of Shri Mataji, if you take and if you go deep into it, it is such a bottomless.
Obviously, our attempt to discuss philosophy and middle age philosophy and focus on one or another of these. I can call them proto Sahaja Yogi because that suggests their writings was in the end just an excuse to come back to Shri Mataji's words and an invitation to go deep into them. But I have the feeling that no amount of invitation or pushing on one direction by someone went do um went be a decisive action from someone part. So that should be something natural. Everybody should try. We are just talking with great pleasure about things we both find it illuminating. Prizing those proto Sahaja yogis in my view. So just to give you an image about Master Eckhart, so he was so revolutionary. Then the Pope by that time, one of these Johns, 22nd, whatever, condemned him after his death. So he, so after the death of Master Eckhart, so obviously, so those people, those although were theology, theologists, uh, priests, professors. I dare to remind to the people who doesn't know that the basic of the academic system in Western Europe was the cloisters of the monasteries. So the cloisters of the monasteries wasn't just the copying manuscripts, but was the first was the seed of the later academies and universities. So um, for me, it's a endless story. We can talk about this kind of subject a lot or not at all. Um, if you want to add something else in the end.
I mean, there is so much to say and also too much to be silent about.
Yeah,
So I feel that somehow uh, we came in a kind of a conclusion of our part, looking at all these characters.
yeah,
And And I mean, if you go, just to say that if you go through these thinkers, you will find a lot of connection with the talks of Shri Mataji. I give just some little glimpse. I had selected a few parts of this of what they say, but um, perhaps is also useless to go through it in the sense that with the word of Shri Mataji, we came to the conclusion somehow. There is nothing higher than that. And just stressing out the importance of doing introspection, of going deeper into ourselves, and not to stop our research of our limits and try to get empty and empty and empty more and more and more. Um, the major, yeah, is like this the word, the words of this philosopher are like tools to help us to dig the well, to try to go deeper into our heart. Uh, if it is covered, this can be instrument to take out what is covering our ground, as Eckhart says, our Grund, our the essence, our spirit, and let the spirit shine in our heart. And of course, once we find the bottom, as Shri Mataji says, we don't need anything else. So you remember the story of a Buddhist, when you have to cross the boat, with a river, you can use the boat, but once you are on the other shore of the river, let the boat behind, don't carry the boat with you. So these are just instruments to help us to dig more into ourselves, to find out the oneness that is in us. I remember the word of Shri Mataji when she says about attachment, and then she concluded in our talk, not in this way, in our talk, she says, let me be wherever you want me to be. If you want me to walk, I will walk. If you want me to be on an elephant, I will be on the elephant. That's it. That means if you want me to be a beggar, I will be a beggar. If you want me to be a king, I will be a king. That doesn't matter, doesn't change. Whatever I am in this world is nothing. If I am a king or a beggar, doesn't make any difference. What make the difference is where is my attention? Am I one with my spirit? We know that Raja Janaka was a king. How many saints were just beggars? That is not important, just external. So we as Sahaja Yogis should look into ourselves and see what we are, as she invites us to see what is our limits and also what is our potentiality. Just try to get empty, empty and empty and empty, more and more and more. Get rid of all the idea, all the imagination, all the thinking even. And you see, bhakti in this sense can help, because when you get lost in her feet, or you get lost in her image, you just lose yourself. So you lose your ego and you just surrender like a child in the lap of a mother. I don't remember what I was when I was a child in the lap of a mother, but I can suppose that you had the same feeling of just complete relaxation. You don't need anything else, you don't want anything else, you're just fully concentrated on the mother, and you are just relaxed on her, on your lap. So we can just relax on the lap of Shri Mataji and enjoy her presence in us, and just surrender at her lotus feet. We were so lucky that we could meet her, so we could surrender to her physically. And somehow, when you are there, you lose yourself. So, again, let's say that we are happy to have many friends that are trekking this path with us. We are just all together in the same boat. And Shri Mataji says also very clearly that it's not important if one of us get the full realization. Should be a mass realization now. So it doesn't matter if one of us can reach there or not. Somehow we should go there all together.
Yes.
And Shrikaki is this collective being that moves together. So let's hope that the collective attention grows to this level of depth. And yeah, no words anymore. So, dear Daniel, thank you a lot for this great opportunity you are giving us to talk about Shri Mataji and their greatness.
I have to thank you, and also I want to add anything which can spoil the mood, and I will close with a big thank you for you for taking time to talk about this kind of subjects which are linked with Sahaja Yoga 100%. Is nothing just separately. And thank to everybody who are watching us. Few people asking questions and wanted to go deep. I thank you. We thank you them. And Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.